My name is Raven, professional wrestling superstar, former world heavyweight champion, and I want you to choose your four. This is Pro Wrestling Rushmore. Quote the Raven, nevermore.
Choose your four. It's Pro Wrestling Rushmore. Hello, humanoids. This is Ian from Squared Circle History, and I want you to choose your four. It's Pro Wrestling Rushmore. Welcome to the only podcast that takes a topic and allows you, the fans, to choose who winds up on our ultimate list at the end of the show. And this week's topic, the Mount Rushmore of women's wrestlers. Joining me this week, the ever opinionated but never duplicated Brian.
What's going on, Ian? Did you miss me?
I absolutely missed you, Brian.
You did.
You're here. You're in rare form. You're making noise over there.
How do you know?
This is
I'm
good.
not in rare form.
This is good. Of course, you're in rare form. This is episode 12, and I've done 10 of these with you. I know what your form is. I know what your rare form is.
All right.
I know what your common form is.
Maybe it's medium rare.
Hey, maybe.
Did you miss me, Sara?
Of course I did, Brian.
Better be honest.
It's not the
I'm
same
sorry.
without you.
Did you miss me, the lovely and talented Sara?
Oh, that's better, thank you.
Sure.
Oh, yes. Reading the list, as always, is the lovely and talented Sara.
Hello.
Spoiler. Hey, Brian, what wrestling shirt are you wearing this week?
Tonight, I am wearing my Believe t-shirt.
Oh, wow.
Because all you have to do, Ian, is believe.
Wow, I haven't seen that one in years.
Well, I told you the last time I was around, I don't have any wrestling shirts, so I gotta dig in there. Dig way back in the closet.
Okay. Well, I have my soft style ECW Raven shirt on right now. Classic. If I do say so myself.
It's a beauty.
Yes.
So that's the original one, right?
The original one, yeah.
But is that a reprint?
It's a reprint, yeah. It's a reprint of the original.
So it wasn't my original Sandman.
No, your Sandman shirt with all the
my holy
burns.
Sandman t-shirt and bacon neck collar.
All right. Well, with all that said, let's begin construction on the Mount Rushmore of women's wrestling.
Opening with the list from Pat R. the Superstar, Sensational Sherry, Chyna, Charlotte Flair, and Trish Stratus.
Alright, so, starting off with Sensational Sherry. What do you think, Brian? Do you think of Sherry as a wrestler, more so, or as a manager?
Both, man. That's one of the picks that you can go and say she did all of it. And she was good at all of it. She managed Macho Man.
She did, Ted DiBiase. But the thing is, when she was managing these people, she was also, like, physical.
Right.
You know, she was taking bumps for people, and she was, bouncing around. But, I mean, she did. She did get her start in the business as a wrestler in Mid-South and in AWA.
Of the splashes off the top rope onto Hogan. Didn't Hogan, hit her? Punched her or something?
He did, and it was very strange to have the kids saying their prayers, taking their vitamins, and,
The ultimate heel.
Yeah.
That's what people say,
yeah,
right?
I guess so.
Hogan as a face was the ultimate heel. But that's a great pick of Sherry. She mixed it up with the boys.
She
every
did.
time she could.
Sherry, when she came into the WWF, she won the title from Moolah. The fabulous Moolah, who will get mentioned later on. But that says something about her. Moolah was legendary even then. And for somebody like Sherry to just come right into the company and just beat Moolah, who is kind of like the top dog there.
Yeah,
says something about their plans for her in the end, I would say.
I was going to ask you about that, because I wasn't sure who she beat for her first title victory. I thought it was Moolah, and you just confirmed it, so thank you.
Cool story, Brian.
Well,
What do you know about Chyna?
what do I know about Chyna? I know they own America.
No, not that Chyna.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The wrestling Chyna.
Oh.
Chyna.
Okay. So, not Chyna. Eighth wonder of the world, right?
Yes.
Managed Triple H. She was dating Triple H until that Jezebel Stephanie McMahon came along.
Jezebel. Did you know that she was trained by Killer Kowalski?
I did. And so was Triple H.
Yes, and did you know that she came so close to signing with WCW to be the only female member of the NWO?
That was... Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, like, that was after DX and all that.
No.
WCW didn't want to sign her before she went to WWE.
They did want to sign her before she went to the WWF.
Oh.
And it was Shane McMahon that talked her out of signing, and she signed, and then she became the bodyguard of Triple H.
Oh, I got you. Right.
So,
nice.
but yeah.
I didn't know that.
And how about the fact that she was actually rumored to win the men's world title
Seriously?
at some point? Yeah, there were talks about her winning the title from Steve Austin, but he said,
Is that confirmed?
Well, rumor and innuendo.
Oh.
It depends who you believe on which week.
Right.
But,
No, I never heard that, actually.
and how about Chyna being the first woman to win the Intercontinental Championship and the first woman to compete in the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, she definitely blazed a path for women in wrestling. As far as winning, like, big titles and things like that. I mean, you never hear of a woman winning the Intercontinental title. I mean, you hear of a woman winning the world title in TNA.
We'll get to that.
Impact.
We'll get
whatever.
to that. And how about when she was with Eddie Guerrero?
Latino Heat.
They made a good pairing. They
That was his
definitely made a good pairing.
Mamacita. That was good. I like them two together. They're pretty good. I like China on that list, Mount Rushmore list. And there's gonna be a lot of women like that tonight.
Yeah, I've been told by more than a few people that this was the hardest list to narrow down.
It is because
So we shall see.
I think it's because the horizon's so broad on what you figure into a woman in wrestling. Is it a manager? Is it both? Like Sherry, is it just strictly wrestling? Is it looks? Do you care about the look of the woman? Are you going for divas instead of wrestlers? What's your criteria?
Anything you want.
I don't know.
Well, from the general consensus, it seems like wrestling ability and contributions in ring wise were more so put into consideration.
That was my list.
And one last thing I wanted to mention about Chyna was the fact that when she left the promotion, she went to Japan and wrestled Masahiro Chono.
Did she really?
She did, yeah.
Interesting. She was she got really good looking after the surgeries and stuff. I don't think she was bad looking at all.
No, and of course she was Playboy cover girl.
Right.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
The third name that Pat mentioned was Charlotte Flair. It's hard to argue Charlotte Flair, despite the fact that she hasn't been in the business all that long. But then again, when you think about it, it's already been 5-6 years or so.
Yeah.
And she's accomplished so much since then. Obviously, the daughter of Ric Flair, she has that same chromosome, I would have to say, for wrestling ability.
Yeah, Charlotte's a good one. I prefer her work in NXT, although she has had a lot of good matches in WWE. She hasn't been around, though, a lot lately, right?
No, she hasn't. She has been away for a while, but, I mean, geez, even when she was there, think about the feuds that she's had with Sasha Banks and the feud that she had with Bayley. How about the main event of the first Evolution pay-per-view?
Yeah, but weren't all those matches done in NXT also?
They were.
So
You're right.
That's what I'm saying. They're just taking something they had at NXT, bringing it up to the main roster and putting it under the bright lights. But we've seen all those matches, and some of them were better in NXT than they were in the WWF.
Definitely.
WWE.
No, I'll definitely agree with you on that. I mean, it just seems like wherever Charlotte goes, she dominates. She was involved in the first all-female main event of WrestleMania, and I think she'll be there at the end. And then, of course,
Think so, really?
Yeah, I do
Of
because
all the names that are out there.
yep, of all the current names that are out there, I think that Charlotte is at the head of the pack. It's either her or Asuka, I feel.
But this ain't the Mount Rushmore of current
Right.
women's. Well, you know what? You've seen the list already anyway, so you know better than I do. So how can I go against you? You're cheating. Oh, and by the way,
Oh, let's hear it.
I know this is going to happen, and I made a list.
Oh, did somebody just make the list?
No, there's a few people on this list, and it's because of your Japanese friends, Ian. I know they're going to throw me a curveball later on, and I want to get all these these women's names that I'm not really so much familiar with, but I took notes today. I
Okay.
come prepared, and they're not going to throw me a curveball.
I'm very impressed at this. I'm very impressed that
You
you're
better
right.
be.
You did. You came here prepared. You have your notes there. They're highlighted.
And I don't even know. See, here's the quirk. I don't even know if these women are even on anybody's list, but I'm sure they will be. I did my research.
You wanted to make sure you were prepared for the obscure.
You betcha.
All right. Sarah, who do we have next?
Last week's guest co-host, Danny Love, votes for Trish Stratus, China, Asuka, and Charlotte Flair.
So I held off on talking about Trish Stratus because I knew she was coming up, and let's face it, Trish Stratus will definitely be there in the end. But Trish Stratus, former Canadian fitness model who transitioned into a role in the WWF.
So you're telling me that you think Trish Stratus is going to be there in the end also?
I do, because of the way that...
You read the list.
No, but think about it. The way that WWE has built her up historically, and, especially with our Hall of Fame induction and the fact that they keep bringing her back, they do build her up as this, must-see legendary competitor. I mean, they've built up that Trish Stratus-Lita feud as being right up there with Austin and McMahon and Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair.
I understand, but you have names like Sherry Martel.
Yes.
You have names like the Fabulous Moolah. There would not be women's wrestling without the Fabulous Moolah, right? Well, I can't say that. Someone must have. That would have happened.
Somebody before Moolah.
I'm going too literal right now. But, Fabulous Moolah. You have Miss Elizabeth.
Yep.
Not a wrestler, but
Yep.
does she fit somebody's criteria? And she was a pioneer for women's wrestling.
You are absolutely right. But I still think that Trish Stratus is going to be there in the end. I mean, because think about the feuds that she was involved in. I mean, beyond the Lita feud, she was involved in that very physical feud with Stephanie McMahon.
Mickey James.
That was a classic feud. Vince McMahon kind of degraded her on live TV, but she got hers in the end. She kicked him in the balls at the biggest WrestleMania of all time, perhaps.
Yep. She wasn't a lot of big storylines. I just think that, I don't know. And people are gonna listen to my list and probably laugh because I'm talking, Trish Stratus is probably bigger than at least 3 of the women I have on my list.
Okay. That's all right. It's your list.
That's what I'm saying. It's up for anyone's criteria. So
it's your 4.
It is. What do we have next?
Well, I wanted to talk about Asuka.
Well, just Asuka.
I just asked you. Asuka.
But what do you want me to say?
Asuka. What do you think of Asuka?
She's alright.
Think she's alright? You don't like the whole entrance?
I don't
her
like...
mannerisms?
No, her mannerisms are awful.
You don't like it? No?
No. It's just,
I think
annoying.
she's one of the best going right now.
Really? It's just annoying. You don't know what she's saying. She, shakes around like she's seizuring. She's weird, man. Just a weird...
So she worked as Kana in Japan. She teamed with Io Shirai and Mio Shirai. Io Shirai's sister.
Io Shirai, isn't she the one that just got her release? Or is she still there?
No, that's Kairi Sane you're thinking of. Asuka, the longest reigning NXT Women's Champion, 502 days.
Yeah, NXT Women's Champion, and then she got the kind of the Ascension treatment where she went up to the main roster and they didn't know what to do with her.
Sure, but at the same time, even in the end, it took a little while, but it seems like she's in a decent groove right now. She's established herself. She's a recognizable character. The face paint's iconic. The green mist is iconic.
I don't love it.
You don't love it?
Nah.
Okay.
It seems too stereotypical, right? Tajiri with a green mist.
Tajiri.
Asuka with a green mist. Yeah. Who else? Great Kabuki did have a green mist.
Great Kabuki. Yeah.
Muda had a green mist, right?
Yeah, it seems to be a mostly Japanese thing, yes.
So, it's just, it's typical.
Okay.
Well.
Sarah, who do we have next?
Next is a list from Steve the Savage, Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey, and Gail Kim.
Okay, so Sasha Banks, the cousin of Snoop Dogg and Ray J. So she trained at Chaotic Wrestling in Massachusetts.
Yep.
Married to Kid Mikaze, who works as a seamstress backstage now, I believe.
Seamstrer.
Seamstrer?
Yeah, I don't think he's a seamstress.
Well, alright, I guess so.
He's like a Mr. Seamstress.
Mr. Seamstress.
Seamstrer.
Mercedes KV.
That was her indie name, yep.
Yeah, but she's done so much more since NXT. How about that incredible feud with Bayley?
Yeah. And
they're reigniting that feud now, and I gotta say,
think we mentioned this before. You work better with your best friends.
Yes.
Because you don't take everything to heart, and those two can work their ass off when they're together. Good matches. As far as like current women's wrestlers, yeah, it's a good one for the list. But man, top 4 women all time, not for me.
How about Ronda Rousey?
It's tough to argue, right? She was only there for a year though.
And think about how much she accomplished in her first match.
I know.
It was like can't say it was a 5-star match, but it was pretty damn close.
No, she definitely doesn't belong there. But man, she could have been something if she stuck around. And she might come back, but I'm not talking. I'm talking like without the layoff. If she had just stuck around all the way through.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I always feel like if you're the champion and you've been a dominant champion leading into WrestleMania, I think you should get some time off after WrestleMania because we've seen you too much.
This long though?
Take your time off. No, I think she should have come back by now.
Right.
But
You think she'll be back? I think so.
yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, she was a sports icon. Made a name for herself in UFC. Hell of a record.
Yeah.
And came to WWE, and I don't know. She seemed on a different level, like even from the day that she got there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like some people,
They
kind of
knew-
suffered in matches with her because she was intense.
Yeah, but they knew WWE knew what they had in her as soon as she signed. It was Money in the Bank right there. She was gonna be huge. Huge erection.
Oh,
Wasn't that what's his face's name? Hugh Morris.
Hugh G. Rection.
Huge erection.
You know anything about Gail Kim?
Huge erection.
I don't think her husband, celebrity chef Robert Irvine, would like to hear that.
Yeah, Gail Kim was awesome. She was a great wrestler.
Oh, when she debuted, she had her Matrix gimmick.
That what it was?
Come on like the Matrix, come on like Neo.
Right.
Yeah, leather jacket and her glasses.
I didn't mind Gail Kim. I liked,
Better in TNA.
Think so?
I
don't
think
watch
so.
that.
Dude, she had an awesome feud with Awesome Kong.
Yeah?
Great matches with Awesome Kong. And then she had a match with Taryn Terrell. Do you remember her?
Sounds very familiar.
She was a general manager on ECW. Tiffany was her name.
No, I don't remember that.
Well, regardless, Gail Kim had an awesome match with her. I don't know if Taryn Terrell had any other awesome matches, but this was an awesome match.
Who carried that match?
Yeah. And then she came back to be Daniel Bryan's on-screen girlfriend.
Yes, I do remember that vaguely.
Yeah, that wasn't really good for her.
Right.
I don't think she's very no nonsense. She's not gonna perform well in that role. She's a technician, if I can put her into any category.
How about Mike McGurk?
Mike McGurk. Surprised nobody mentioned Mike McGurk, huh?
Except me.
Oh man, is she on your Mount Rushmore?
For ring announcer, she was cool.
Yeah, she was cool, and she was in the WrestleFest video game.
That's right.
The arcade
She should be in it just for that alone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I do remember that long, puffy blonde hair.
Yep.
Damn.
Maybe her, Ric Flair, and Mr. Perfect bleached their hair together.
They must.
They must.
They're like, we're gonna meet at Mike McGurk's tonight
What do you
for the hair bleaching.
What do you think?
Woo!
What do you think Ric Flair says when the bleach gets in his eye?
Ah,
Ah, God!
Ah, God!
Or on the Big Show, like when he was on TV, he'd break out the "Ah, God!" But if it was like a Big Show or a pay-per-view, he'd go "Ah, shit!" Sarah, who do we have next?
The 4 from Mike the Wolverine are The Fabulous Moolah, Sensational Sherry, Trish Stratus, and AJ Lee.
So Mike the Wolverine giving us a vote for the Fabulous Moolah. It's hard to talk about women's wrestling without the Fabulous Moolah, especially with the history that WWE has told us about women's wrestling. What do you think about Fabulous Moolah?
Yeah, like I said before, they wouldn't be women's wrestling without Fabulous Moolah. Not that it. I don't know. I'm going right back in the circle because I said this earlier.
You did.
I
You
don't
did
know,
say this
man.
earlier.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, all right. Think about it
she-
this way. I'm gonna give some history here on Fabulous Moolah. She left home.
Wait.
She left home at 15 to train with Mildred Burke and Billy Wolfe. She briefly managed Buddy Rogers, who gave her the name Moolah the Slave Girl.
It wasn't she a slave girl? No, like didn't she own like? They said that she was a slave driver, right?
Kind of. So what she did was she ended up running her own wrestling school / wrestling camp, and what she would do is she would allow the woman to live there. However, she would take a large percentage of their pay in return. So these women are putting their bodies on the lines, but they're really not getting anything in return. And then there's the rumors that she was kind of pimping them out. But some girls have said that that is absolutely not true. Select few have said that is true. So, who are we to judge? We don't know.
Yeah, we don't.
But she was the first NWA Women's Champion. I don't know if she was the first, actually, but she was NWA Women's Champion. She won a 13-woman Battle Royal. She was also the first woman... She was the first woman to wrestle in Madison Square Garden. She ended up selling the rights to the NWA Women's title to Vince McMahon.
Who did she work at the Garden?
I don't know if she worked at the Garden.
Because that would make the other person the first woman ever also.
Ah, I see what you're saying. So she is one of the first women to compete
That's right.
in
And
Madison Square Garden.
quite obviously, your notes are not on par with mine
No.
tonight, Ian.
I took some quick historical notes here. I'll admit that I did not know too much about the Fabulous Moolah beyond, what we've seen on TV. But I can tell you that rock and wrestling, she was a big part of that because she main evented with Wendy Richter for the Brawl to End It All.
Didn't something go wrong in that match or something?
No. What ended up happening was, okay, so she had this brief feud with Wendy Richter. Wendy Richter wins the women's title. So then Moolah trains Leilani Kai to take the women's title from Wendy Richter. That sets up WrestleMania 1. Now, you've got Cyndi Lauper in Wendy Richter's corner, and you've got the Fabulous Moolah in Leilani Kai's corner. Well, Wendy Richter wins the women's title back.
Say that 5 times fast.
I'm trying. So, Wendy Richter, her contract, is coming up. She doesn't really want to re-sign because she doesn't like the terms, yada yada. In an effort to get the title off of Wendy Richter without having, her do necessarily the job, she didn't really want to drop the title to Moolah, so she agreed to wrestle the Spider Lady, who was just Moolah under a mask, and she just held Wendy Richter's shoulders down, although not very well, and the referee counted 3, and there you go, the first WWF screw job.
Now, did Wendy Richter know she was a Spider Woman?
No, but I mean,
How do you not know by that shape?
I was just gonna say, you can tell that's Moolah. I mean, she shapes.
Right, and they gotta call a match. So did Moolah walk around the locker room all day? She's like, no Moolah here, no Moolah here. I'm Spider Woman.
Wendy Richter is trying to talk to her.
Say, we're calling a ring, honey.
Moolah, is that you? Nah, I'm the Spider Lady. What do you want to do? Suplex?
How do you not know that's Moolah? Wow, Wendy Richter was a dumb one, huh?
So how about the Fabulous Moolah gaining more notoriety when she came back in 1999? Well, all right. I'm skipping ahead here. She had her original retirement match against Medusa in the AWA.
Really?
Yeah, but she didn't stay retired.
Obviously.
Yeah. She came back. She actually she formed her own women's wrestling promotion, and that's where Mae Young initially came out of retirement to wrestle for Mae Young's promotion.
Moolah's promotion.
Mae Young wrestled for Moolah's promotion.
Right.
Yes. And then the promotion goes under. Moolah makes her return to WWF, brings Mae Young with her. And that starts a 1, classic pairing, and 2, really entertaining storylines. But even when Moolah came back, she was getting into the thick of things. She even had a brief women's title reign, defeating Ivory at the age of 75.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's not good.
No, 75 years old. Come on.
Nostalgia run.
No, 70. Dude, you're 75.
You're not looking forward to.
I mean, it was cool when the Dudley Boys put Mae Young through the tables and stuff like that. That stuff was cool. It was. Oh, there goes my paper, my list. I haven't had to pull out yet. By the way.
Don't worry. I think you will as we go further here. But let's talk about AJ Lee. AJ Lee trained by Jay Lethal. She worked on the Independents as Miss April before going to FCW. Were you watching NXT when she debuted, Brian? When it was the NXT game show?
No, I wasn't. No.
Well,
But-
she shined on that. She let her fandom shine through. She, there was like a trivia contest. She knew every answer. They played, name that tune. She knew every theme song. So
AJ Lee's like the super fan.
the female super fan. Yep.
Gotcha.
And she came to the main roster with kind of like a crazy gimmick.
She's so hot.
Okay, well, there's that.
She is, man.
Now the wife of CM Punk.
Yeah.
But
I like CM Punk. You're not a CM Punk fan.
no, not really.
That's why you want to just kind of go quick off that
Yeah,
subject.
yeah, I'm not a CM
Why?
Punk guy.
Why?
I think he let me down.
Why?
He let me down in multiple ways.
Were you a CM Punk fan?
I was a
You were?
huge CM Punk fan. Huge
So
CM Punk fan
what-
from the Independents. I mean, I loved when he won the title in Chicago, and supposedly he was going to leave the promotion.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
That match
It
was
great.
awesome too.
Yeah, that was
Against Cena. Oh my god,
Yep.
what a good match.
classic match. But no, I didn't like the way.
What was that? What event was that?
That was Money in the Bank 2011.
Just in case anybody wants to check it out.
Yeah, I mean that's
Because
must
it
see if
is
you haven't
worth.
seen
And even if you did and you haven't seen it in a while, I would check that out again.
it. Yeah, that's essential viewing, especially if you're an older fan and you kind of lapsed and now you're getting back into things and you're trying to catch up.
The storyline was awesome too.
It was.
So what changed? Go ahead, go on.
No,
I'm
I
interested.
didn't like the way he left. I didn't like.
So he's pretty much your Bret Hart.
Yes.
For what Bret Hart is to me,
Yes.
is what CM Punk is to you.
So now I'll insert like
You don't like the way he
Ian hates Punk.
Ian hates.
But I would have to do it to the CM Punk
Do you think you hate
cult of
him?
personality.
You hate him, right?
I mean, hate is a strong word.
It is a strong word.
Yeah. I don't
So
think.
you definitely don't dislike him as much as I do. Dislike
No, I was
Bret
gonna say
Hart.
your hatred for Bret Hart is stronger than anything
No,
else in the
I
universe.
hate Bret Hart.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Loathe him.
Right.
You loathe him.
But all right, so I get it. I can see where you're coming from because he did kind of leave.
I feel like he owes a lot to WWE.
Yeah.
And when he left, he kind of, he didn't think about that at the same time. He thought about the negatives. He was lauding on these negatives, but he wasn't thinking about the fact that, like, dude, you were the longest reigning world champion, and how long? You got to work with The Rock. You had great matches on Raw with John Cena. You even had that final, storyline there when you were kind of gonna leave in Chicago. He didn't think about that. He just thought about the negatives.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, these people made you a semi-household name, or at least a household name, if you're, a wrestling fan.
I get it, man. I get exactly what you're saying. I mean, I feel you. I feel like you need a hug. It's not your fault,
It's not my fault.
Ian. It's not your fault.
Sarah, who do we have next?
Next up is Bobby on the Beat with the Fabulous Moolah, Medusa, Trish Stratus, and Charlotte Flair.
All right, so the first new name there is Medusa, and that is a name an iconic name in women's wrestling, right there. Whether you knew her as Alundra Blaze or you knew her as Medusa, she's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
In like all the major promotions, AWA, she was there. She was in WCW with the Dangerous Alliance.
And she succeeded everywhere she was.
Yes.
Like, everywhere she went, she succeeded.
Even in Japan.
Success. There was so can I tell a story?
Of course you can
I
tell
used
a
to
story.
work with this dude, right? Yeah, in a factory, and he loved wrestling. And he brought a picture, a Polaroid actually. That's how old I am. he brought a Polaroid into work of his German Shepherd because we didn't have camera phones back then and stuff. So he brings in a Polaroid, and under his German Shepherd it was spelled out Madusa, and I thought his dog's name was Mad USA. I didn't put two and two together. I didn't know the dog's name was Medusa. So I'm looking at my buddy. I'm like, "Hey Corey, like, why did Bob name his dog Mad USA?"
Well,
You have to, like, explain it to me.
Another funny thing, and because it is funny you say that, normally Medusa, like the mythological Medusa, it's Medusa, but this Medusa Michelli, she spelled it Madusa because it's made in the USA.
Oh, it's made. I thought she was mad at the USA.
No, made in the USA. Yeah, that's what that was all about. But did you know that she managed Kurt Hennig for a little while?
No way.
In AWA.
Oh, yeah?
And then together they both joined Diamond Dallas Page's Diamond Exchange.
Huh, how much did that group weigh?
A lot of carrots. Yeah, Medusa, she came to WWF as Alundra Blaze when they rebranded the women's division. She feuded with the great Bull Nakano. We'll be talking about her in a little bit. And she was in a feud with Bertha Faye.
Harvey Whippleman's Bertha Faye.
Yes. We don't really talk about Bertha Faye, but, yeah.
Well, there's not really much to talk about, right? Her run wasn't really that great. Right?
Bertha Faye, well, she was the women's champion.
Was she?
She was. Yeah, she did beat Medusa.
What a terrible time for women's wrestling.
It was.
In
And
WWF.
That's something we can talk about right now, is how far women's wrestling has evolved from being like a sideshow, undercard, almost comedy division.
Yeah, it's huge now, man.
Now it's main eventing shows, and a lot of times it's the most interesting things on the show.
And what's funny is I don't go for like as many cigarette breaks
Not anymore.
as I used to when the women come out. Now it's like maybe I should watch this match because it might be good.
Yeah, I mean think about when the women's division was really like bra and panties matches and
Yeah, those and
pools of gravy matches,
just
Jello matches.
Right. It was sexist.
Pillow fights.
Sexist. Kind of put women down matches.
But the main thing I think Medusa's going to be known for is when she showed up in WCW and dropped the WWF Women's Championship in the trash can.
Of course.
Said that's what she thinks of the WWF Women's Division.
That was one of the most iconic moments in wrestling history.
Sure was. And she says she kind of regrets it.
What's funny is, it just makes me laugh how, how Vince McMahon is. He brings Ric Flair in. Oh, they goes making more noise.
What the heck was that?
I'm kicking microphone stands, man. So McMahon brings in Flair with a big gold belt.
Yes.
I mean, they block it out, but you knew what it was. And then he gets all pissed off, and Medusa shows up, and I know she threw the title in the trash.
No, you see, pal, because it happens to me. It can't happen to me. It can happen to anybody else, but it can't happen to me.
It's
pal.
just, I don't get it.
It's only good shit when I do it.
It's such good shit.
Medusa transitioned into a monster truck driver.
Yeah. Every time I go to an event, though, she's never there.
No, I don't know if she's
Take my kids to the events and stuff, and maybe Mad USA will be here. But nope.
Yeah, I don't think she's driving anymore because now she's working in AEW. She works with the woman in AEW now.
Does she?
She does.
Who isn't? I'm sure she's gonna manage someone in AEW soon.
Manage?
Because everyone in AEW gets a legend, right?
Yeah.
Who's the ones? I mean, yeah, everyone gets a legend in
Vicky
AEW.
Guerrero's over there.
Vicky Guerrero's with who?
Nyla Rose.
That's right. I hope she's not on the list.
Nyla Rose does not make the list. No, she does not.
Dodge that bullet.
But there might be another bullet you're gonna have to touch later. Sarah, who do we have next?
Death by Lariat brings us Bull Nakano, Megumi Kudo, Akira Hokuto, and Manami Toyota.
All right, here we go, Brian. You have any of these names on your list?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. Start off with Bull Nakano. What can you tell me about Bull Nakano?
She's not on my. I'm gonna be honest with you. So I took notes on 4 of these women that I thought would be on the list.
Okay.
And lo and behold, I have one, but I didn't take notes on Bull Nakano.
Okay. Tell me about the one that you have on your list.
But hold on. Bull Nakano was in WWE. Feuded with Alundra Blaze.
Yep.
Women's champion, right?
Yeah.
And I do know she went back to Japan and she lost a ton of weight.
She did.
And she looks really good now.
She looks like a completely different person now. But yeah, Bull Nakano. She was a big star in All Japan Women's Pro Wrestling. She was the champion there for 3 years. She teamed up with her mentor, Dump Matsumoto. She was the first CMLL Women's Champion.
Mexico, right?
In Mexico, that's correct.
Yes.
And she actually competed in the WWF back in 1986
As Bull Nakano?
as Bull Nakano with her partner, Dump Matsumoto. But yeah, she came to the, well, I guess you could say she returned to the WWF in 1994, managed by Luna Vachon, and had a feud there with Alundra Blaze. She also went to WCW, feuded with Medusa there, and she retired due to an injury in 1997 to become a pro golfer.
A golfer, huh?
Golfer, yeah.
What? She played on the LPGA.
I believe that woman's title belongs to Mr. Gilmore.
Did she play on the LPGA or
I'm not hip with all these terms.
the Ladies Pro Golf Association, Ian? Was she pro? Was she a pro golfer?
She was a pro golfer, yeah.
So she must have been on the LPGA. She must have came down from Japan.
I guess she did.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they have pro golf in Japan. I'm assuming they do, right?
They must.
All right.
Yeah.
So maybe she played on their pro tour. I guess it's possible.
Anything's possible.
Let me tell you something about Akira Hokuto, Ian.
Akira Hokuto?
That one. She was an AJW. She wrestled for AJW from 1985 to 1995.
Yeah, she was the Rookie of the Year in 1985.
I was going to ask you if you knew that. You just son of a bitch. All right. Well, she was Rookie of the Year. You just said that. Stole my thunder. AJW All Star Dream Slam event in April 2nd, 1993.
Yes.
She and Kandori.
Shinobu
Kandori, that one. They had a 5-star match.
You're right.
By Dave Meltzer.
Yep.
And it's considered to be the best women's match in history.
Do you think it's the best women's match in history?
Well, we just watched it because I wanted to check it out. It was definitely hard hitting. I mean, you said they called it Yoshi style?
Joshi style.
Yoshi, like from Mario.
No, Joshi.
But isn't the J like like a?
Oh, it might be
Yoshi.
It might be pronounced like that. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Well, pronunciation is everything, right?
Okay.
Just because it's got a J doesn't mean it's made with a J.
Okay.
Or no, it is made with a J, but it doesn't mean it's pronounced with whatever. Anyway, she also worked for CMLL in Mexico.
Yeah.
Did you know that she held the women's title there for 2 years?
2 years.
2 great years. Now, who else on the list?
Well, no, I've got some more to say about Akira Hokuto. She, listen to this one, alright? She teamed up with Yumiko Hata to battle the Red Typhoons in a 2 out of 3 falls match in All Japan Women. In the first fall, she took a tombstone pile driver off the second rope and broke her neck, held her neck in place, and finished the match.
She literally held her neck in place?
If you watch that match, she's holding her neck in place.
How is that possible?
I don't know, but she did
How do you bump? How?
She made it work. She made it work.
It's very strange.
She fought in the Tokyo Dome against Aja Kong. She was in WCW to feud with Medusa, managed by Sonny Ono. And her husband is Kensuke Sasaki. Do you remember Kensuke Sasaki?
Dude.
Yes.
We were watching that match earlier, and I thought Akira Hokuto was the other one.
Akira Hokuto?
That one. I thought she was...
No.
I thought she was the eggplant.
The one with, like, the face paint, kind of looks like a lion.
Right. And I remember you telling me these things while we were watching the match.
She was Kandori. And...
Yeah, I thought, like, the eggplant was Akira Hokuto.
No.
Oh.
No.
Well, don't I have egg on my face? Okay. Well,
listen to this one. Akira Hokuto, she met Kensuke Sasaki on the tour for the World Wrestling Peace Festival in 1995.
Yep.
And according to people that were in that hotel, their meeting was very loud. They had a very loud meeting together in their hotel room for hours.
Still playing the hokey
Upon
pokey for hours.
You could hear it throughout the hotel. There were people complaining. They were knocking on the door, but nobody would answer.
Jeez, she sounds like a good time.
Well, she's considered one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time.
UG Rection.
Oh no, he's not on this list. Okay, so also on this list, the great Megumi Kudo. You remember Megumi Kudo, Brian?
Yes, that Portuguese chick that
No,
owns a bakery.
she's not Portuguese.
Owns a bakery out in Japan.
She doesn't. She doesn't own a
She makes
bakery.
wicked good sweetbread.
unconfirmed, but she did retire from wrestling to become a commentator. She hosts a radio show. She married deathmatch superstar Bad Boy Hito.
Oh, Bad Boy Hito.
Yeah, he bleaches his hair too.
That's right.
She released an album. She starred in a movie. She was a huge star in FMW. Headline shows there.
Like the deathmatch organization?
The deathmatch organization.
So she's into that deathmatch
She's
stuff,
into deathmatches, barbed wire.
You gotta be some kind of sick individual to be into that stuff. Especially being a woman. Like, you're into the deathmatches?
She had a great feud with Shark Tushia. And actually her retirement match was a no-rope, barbed wire, double landmine, glass crush deathmatch.
Yeah, we're still talking about the same girl.
Megumi Kudo.
Megumi Kudo.
Yes. She's tiny. Tiny girl, but fierce like a lion. Or lioness in this case.
I've never seen any of her work.
Oh, Brian.
I haven't.
I have to show you some Megumi
Is she hot?
Kudo.
I mean, she's into the death matches, so probably not, right?
You know, she's probably one of the more
Attractive?
of the women's deathmatch wrestlers. Yeah.
Of the death match wrestlers. I like how you specify that. Of the death match wrestlers. Yeah, I don't know, man. No interest.
And let's talk about Manami Toyota.
Oh.
There are people that say that she is the greatest women's wrestler of all time. What can you tell me about Manami Toyota?
I gotta be honest, man. I went through 4 of them and I stopped at Manami Toyota.
Yeah.
I don't have any notes on her.
You don't have any notes on her. Okay.
I don't.
That's right. Well.
Dude, I didn't know, like, who they were gonna throw at me.
Yeah.
So I threw like 8 names on this, and I'm going through and I'm putting bullet points. And I'm just like, I'm gonna show Ian, but you know what? I just didn't have the patience and or time to go through and put that's where I stopped. Was Manami Toyota.
Well, she had 14 5-star matches according to Dave Meltzer.
14 5-star.
Yeah.
And by his standards today, there'd probably be 8-star matches.
Probably. Yeah.
Just think about that.
Yeah. I mean,
She was going on a lower spectrum there.
Mhm.
5-star. I spit on that.
He loved the 90s All Japan women.
Sounds like he likes All Japan every time.
Oh, yeah, he loves All Japan.
Every day. He loves Japan.
He, Manami Toyota, she had a big feud with Toshio Yamada. And they even had a hair versus hair match, which Toyota lost.
No.
Yep. That's crazy. It's crazy. But she did team with Yamada to defend the WWWA tag team titles against Dynamite Kasai and Mayumi Ozaki. 2 out of 3 falls match. 5 stars, according to Dave Meltzer.
How about that match she had with Mayumi Camry?
Kamori.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Camry, like Toyota Camry.
Oh, listen to you. Listen to you.
It's not funny if I have to explain it.
But yeah, Manami Toyota was voted, the Wrestling Observer did a poll, and she was voted the greatest women's wrestler of all time.
I did see that. As I was passing through and kind of glancing over things, I did see that people do rate her as best women's wrestler of all time.
And she even made an appearance in Chikara.
Can I tell you a secret?
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch to find out.
I think that was implied.
I'm just saying. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, well.
You were making another point. Did I make you forget?
Was I?
It must have been a lie. It's okay. Move
Okay.
on.
Sarah, who do we have next?
Angie Tiverton submits Ayuko Hamada, Awesome Kong, Gail Kim, and Trish Stratus.
Well, let me tell you something, Ian, about, I got excited. I banged my microphone and everything there.
Yikes.
All right. Hold on. I have something here on Aoki Hamada.
Oh, okay, let's hear it.
All Japan Women's Pro Wrestling. That's where she wrestled. She also wrestled in CMLL in Mexico.
Yes.
She had a few more stints in other places in Japan.
Okay.
I didn't write those down. But I did write she had a stint in TNA.
She did, yes.
And did you know, and I know you know because we already talked about it earlier,
Okay.
but I'm going to ask you anyway.
Yeah.
She was the daughter of Gran Hamada,
Gran Hamada.
who wrestled for NJPW. I'm not letting you get anything in. NJPW, Michinoku Pro, and All Japan Pro Wrestling. And he also had a short stint with ECW.
Yeah?
Did you know?
Did I know? He was on Barely Legal.
I'm going. It's my next bullet point.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Damn it. She was trained by AJ Kong.
Aja Kong.
Yeah, that one. And also she was trained by Gran Hamada.
Yes.
Because that's her pappy. And she was a former 2-time TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champion.
Good job.
Beat that one.
I'm impressed. Well, do you know why she's no longer wrestling?
No.
Okay. 2008, she was arrested for methamphetamine possession.
Where, Japan?
And she was fired from the Sendai Girls Pro Wrestling. She is retired and now works as an interpreter.
Good lord.
I know, like, she devoted her career to this, and that's the way she's gonna get the boot. Doesn't seem right.
Was it like in Mexico? Is that where that happened?
No, Japan.
Mexico. I'm sorry, Japan. That's what I meant. Japan.
Do you remember Awesome Kong?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, she also competed as the Amazing Kong and as Karma in WWE.
Yeah, but her. I mean, I think everybody remembers her from TNA.
Yeah.
Impact.
Do you
Wrestling,
remember her?
NWA, TNA, whatever it's called.
Do you remember her memorable TNA debut?
I might, man. Refresh my memory.
It was a Bound for Glory. I think it was Bound for Glory. I want to say 2007. And she was in like a Royal Rumble type match. She makes her appearance. She comes out. She's just this dominant force, just beating everybody up. And they give her the Andre the Giant treatment. And everybody gangs up to throw her over the top rope. And her gear gets stuck on the top rope. Her gear stays on the top rope, but she's thrown over the top rope.
Did she show her boobies?
You saw it all.
Everything, huh?
In her debut.
No kidding. No, I don't remember that.
But
you know, it's funny because like as you explain, I'm like, yeah, kind of. And then you said that. Nope, I do not have any recollection.
That's bad luck, man.
You think?
that's bad luck. But she redeemed herself. She had an awesome feud with Gail Kim. Like some of those matches are really must see. But she was fired from TNA for attacking Bubba the Love Sponge backstage. Because Bubba the Love Sponge made comments about Hurricane Sandy, derogatory comments about Hurricane Sandy.
That's right. Yeah.
She beat him up, and that's when Hulk Hogan had just come in, and Hulk Hogan was Bubba's buddy.
I do remember that.
Awesome Kong was out, and then she went to WWE as Karma.
As Karma, and never really got off the ground at all.
She got pregnant.
She wrestled like what, 2 matches?
Yeah.
If that.
She was.
And then she came back after her pregnancy, though, didn't she?
She was in the Royal Rumble one year, and but yeah, and she actually has an AEW contract right now. I don't know what she's doing, but
didn't she came out to go face to face with that other Kong?
Aja Kong.
Right, at the first pay-per-view, wasn't it?
Right, but then nothing ever became of that.
Right, I remember that.
But she
I
was.
remember.
She was on the TV show Glow, which just got canceled.
Really, I never really got into that show.
Yeah, and I mean, in Glow, we can talk about Glow. This is the women's wrestling episode, so
you could talk about Glow.
I
just said I never really got into that show.
It was just 80s. It was very 80s. It was a
80s.
Yes, it was an 80s women's wrestling promotion in syndication, and it wasn't really meant to be taken too seriously, but the TV show kind of.
Was it based on a true story?
Glow?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, so they didn't follow anything.
No, it didn't.
Right.
No, nothing like that.
Well, I didn't know.
Well, it's okay. That's why we're here, to talk things out here. Glow is kind of like a step up from apartment wrestling. I know you remember apartment wrestling.
Dude, I stole like an apartment wrestling tape from a flea market one time.
Yeah?
Because I was just curious of what it was.
And were you disappointed?
Oh, I don't know what I was, man. I was a kid.
It's weird.
Very weird.
They had those strange ads in like the Pro Wrestling Illustrated
Well, that's
magazines.
why I was curious.
Yeah.
I always saw those ads and.
You think it's.
What is this?
Yeah, it's definitely a niche thing, I would say. But hey, people like what they like, I guess. But Sarah, who do we have next?
The list from Johnny D includes Lita, Manami Toyota, China, and Charlotte Flair.
Lita. There's a name that is also synonymous with the WWE Women's Division. I'm sure you remember Lita.
I do. I want to just make a point. I like that list because it's very diverse.
Yes.
It doesn't concentrate strictly on one promotion or one time, one era. Lita, yeah, getting back to what you asked. Yeah, Lita was awesome.
She worked,
Fucking Rocco. God.
Hey, speaking of women's wrestling, the new China action figure that comes out,
Yep.
it's gonna have Rocco with it.
China is gonna have Rocco.
China's gonna have Rocco because it's a part of a set where you have to buy all 4 figures.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, to make Paul Ellering.
Yeah.
And Paul Ellering, of course, had Rocco for a brief time. So
That's awful.
yeah, Belita, she trained in Mexico, CMLL, worked as Angelica before heading to ECW for 6 months and being the valet of S.A. Rios.
I remember that.
Yep, he dumped her and she went with the Hardys.
Well, like, were they together?
No, not like
Oh,
on-screen
so
dumping.
dumped her.
He powerbombed her. There we go.
Did he really?
He did. He powerbombed her. He powerbombed her right out of her gear.
Yeah.
And then she changed her look. She had the.
She had a great moonsault.
She had an awesome moonsault, but she did break her neck one time with that moonsault.
That wasn't a great moonsault. Man.
that night was not a great
That wasn't
moonsault.
good. She used to show her thong, and I think that was some sex appeal there.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, she was she won the women's championship from Stephanie McMahon. She main evented Raw with Trish Stratus. She even had that love triangle there with Matt Hardy and Edge.
I don't know if it was a triangle.
Well, she was with Matt Hardy and then she was with Edge, and
Yeah.
then it spilled out onto television, and
Poor Matt.
that was a heck of a storyline, though, and that helped Lita.
Do you think she deserved, the fans treating her the way they did?
No,
after that?
but once she embraced it,
Oh, it was badass.
it was a great character.
Right, and it was probably still bothering her, but
Sure.
like you said, once she took it and accepted it and just went with it, awesome stuff, man.
Yeah, and I mean that feud with Trish Stratus, they
Can you imagine how hard that must be, though? Like, your new boyfriend is in a big storyline because of something you did off screen, and it's kind of your fault.
Yeah.
So, like, how could you embrace it,
Well, even think about the woman in ECW too. Really, none of the women in ECW get mentioned, so we'll just talk about them now. I mean, Francine, Beulah, Dawn Marie. I mean, yeah, they were valets, but they definitely got physical.
Right.
In the action, the cat fights, but they would also, take pile drivers through tables and Singapore canes to the face.
Yeah.
They were very physical, And Beulah, come on,
With the love triangle with Tommy.
with
and
Tommy, yep,
Raven.
and then Beulah against Bill Alfonso.
Oh, yeah, that match.
Bloody, just bloody as all hell. But
She was nice, too, Beulah.
Beulah, yeah, she was.
Francine.
Francine too, yeah.
Does anybody no one mentions Francine?
Nobody.
I don't either.
That's kind of
But
a shame, though.
Yeah,
isn't
it is, right?
It's kind of a shame. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Hey. Oh well.
And she didn't talk a lot.
Francine? No, because she had that thick Long Island accent.
Wicked thick. No,
Yeah.
that was cool, though. I think
Yeah.
that was like...
It was different.
You
Nobody
should have,
else
like,
had
put that on screen. You know what I mean?
She was like Marissa Tomei from My Cousin Vinny.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They should have let that shine through. Maybe
That
she was
coulda worked.
comfortable, though.
Maybe, because she was signed with WWE for
Was
a little
she?
bit at the beginning of that ECW,
Damn.
and they did nothing with her. Nothing. And I think that's a big missed opportunity.
Well, they probably heard her talk.
What am I gonna do? Who am I gonna manage? Who am I working with?
It's alright, let her come.
It's down there, Francine. Down
Oh!
there. It's down there. All right, Sarah. Who do we have next?
The first time submission from Nick G is Trish Stratus, Charlotte Flair, Asuka, and Shayna Baszler.
That's right. Shayna Baszler gets a mention on this list here. A more modern name. What do you think about Shayna Baszler's inclusion on this list, Brian?
She's good at her job. She doesn't belong on the list.
Yeah.
That's someone who's coming in. He's a current fan.
Mm-hmm.
Liking the new product, obviously, and there's nothing wrong with that. But as far as a Mount Rushmore of women, there are so many more. Like I said, people are gonna laugh at my list. They'll be like, "Oh wow, he's making it sound like he's gonna put Mildred Burke and go right from the beginning." I'm
Dude,
not.
The Mildred Burke name drop right there. I like it.
What?
I like it.
Well, we heard her already. She was on the Fabulous Moolah one.
That's right. She was
Interesting
trained by
stats.
Mildred Burke.
Right. I'll just
That's
reintroduce Mildred Burke. Why don't you tell us about Mildred Burke? Good old Mildred. Did she get a mention on this list?
No, she doesn't get a mention. On
Oh, so let's talk about good old Mildred. She was like the very first woman, wasn't she?
Tell me all about it.
I don't know. I don't have her. She's not on my list. She
Yeah,
wait,
she was.
hold on.
She was.
She is. She's like second to last, but I didn't get to finish it.
Go ahead, tell me what you got on Mildred Burke.
I don't have anything. I stopped.
Oh,
I
you
told
wrote her
ya.
name. Okay.
I wrote her name,
I
and
got
then
you.
I was like, you know what?
I got you.
Forget this list. There's gonna be too many in there.
Yeah.
And I know Ian's gonna have the facts anyway, but he doesn't obviously.
No, I don't have. I
What do
couldn't
you
tell
know about her though?
Mildred Burke, I know that she trained the Fabulous Moolah, and I know she was one of the originals, but that's really...
So we can't call
That's really all
Fabulous
I know.
Moolah the pioneer. Mildred Burke was probably the real.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, but I mean, she trained Moolah. Moolah was the next generation that kind of brought it into the mainstream.
Gotcha.
But Shayna Baszler, she has a hell of a pedigree, though. And I'm not talking about the move. I'm talking about she was trained by Josh Barnett, and she was trained in catch wrestling by Billy Robinson.
Not pedigree like your dog's pedigree.
Right. She formed a friendship with Ronda Rousey, Jessamine Duke, and Marina Shafir to form the Four Horsewomen.
How many 4 horsewomen are there going to be?
That's right, because there's the one, I think the real Four Horsewomen, Charlotte, Becky,
Bailey.
Sasha, Bailey, yeah.
You're right. I agree.
It would have been nice to see a Survivor Series match between the two, but
It would have been nice to see that. It would have been nice if Ric Flair gave the blessing for that group, and
Yes.
like maybe they became like it's not too late,
yeah, why couldn't Ric Flair be like the J.J. Dillon of the group?
right, or something, or like I think it'd be cool if when Becky comes back, they should just do it. Just do it.
Just do it, Brian. Becky Lynch does not get one mention on this list.
Well, she's on mine.
Okay, well, I guess she's gonna get one, so I'll just
I'm
move
surprised,
forward then.
man. I'm shocked at that.
Yeah, no, I thought she would at least get a few, but no. Becky Lynch does not get any mentions. The man is not the man this
And
week.
that's saying a lot because I don't really give too much credit to the new breed.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I'll let you explain your reasoning later.
It's alright, you can explain.
No, we're gonna save
It'll
it for you
probably
later.
slip my mind later anyway.
No, because she's on your list, so of course it's gonna come up. Okay, so Mildred Burke. We just got some fact checks here. Mildred Burke, she wrestled in the mid-30s to the mid-50s when she held the NWA Women's Championship for almost 20 years.
Oh, wow.
So I guess that would mean that she got the title from... Or no, that Moolah got the title from her.
So Moolah beat the teacher. Who did the teacher beat? How far back does this go?
Oh, boy. Sarah, who do we have next?
The 4 Polish's chose are Sasha Banks, Medusa, Bull Nakano, and Megumi Kudo.
So we got another vote there from Megumi Kudo. Also, Bull Nakano. Bull Nakano, it wasn't uncommon for her to be in bloody brawls.
Bull Nakano?
Bull Nakano, yeah.
So, like, was she in FMW?
She was not in FMW. She was more like the mainstream. So think about when WWE was doing their version of hardcore wrestling.
Right.
It's kind of like what Bull Nakano was doing.
I get you.
But we've heard all of these names. So Sarah, who do we have next?
Yankees 1989 adds votes for Trish Stratus, Medusa, Charlotte Flair, and Sasha Banks.
So there we go, Brian. That's your favorite, Yankees 1989.
I hate that name.
Well, let's see who we have next. Sarah, who do we have?
The submission from Jordan in Tennessee is composed of Charlotte Flair, Alundra Blaze, Sunny, and Stacy Keebler.
So yeah, Medusa, Alundra Blaze, a rose by any other name. But 2 names that we are hearing for the first time here. Let's first talk about Sunny. Sunny really not a woman's wrestler. However, she was very important to women being involved in wrestling.
Yeah,
they call her the original diva.
Extremely influential, Sunny. She was so hot back in the day, dude. Right?
She certainly caused a lot of problems backstage, that's for sure.
But I mean, she was like the ultimate. Didn't she get an offer from Playboy and she said she turned it down?
She turned it down. She was America Online's most downloaded female at one point.
And look at what she became.
And how she has fallen.
Well, it's like looking back on it, imagine what more she could have been if she had done that Playboy.
It would have certainly helped her career.
She
Or
obviously-
would it have? She could have spiraled like China did.
She could have, but there was a lot more time for her, right?
Yes.
So like what she became now, looking back, she's probably like, man, I really screwed that one up.
Well, I don't know because she's in and out of jail all the time. All the
Right.
time. And I'm not judging her here. I'm just saying that if you're gonna turn around, when are you gonna turn around? Don't say, you're gonna turn around and then same thing happens all over again. But hey, I don't want to get into that. That's not my business. That's Sunny's business.
She's not on my list, man, but that's a good pick.
It is a good pick. Yeah.
She's got to be on more lists, right?
No.
That's the only one Sunny made?
That's the only one she made.
Wow.
Yep.
Seriously?
Yep. That's it.
No shit, man.
Yep.
Good pick, Jordan. Good pick.
He also picked Stacy Keibler.
So hot.
So
Those legs, bro.
we see.
Oh my god.
We see how Jordan voted here based on Brian's reaction here. But yeah, I mean, she dated George Clooney for a little while.
Yeah, who cares?
She was I mean, I'm just trying to say that Stacy Keibler transcended just wrestling. I mean, she kept her name out there. I don't know what she does now, but
She was an actress for a while. She was on a show. It's actually called like, I don't know what the name of it was. Something like What About Brian or something. No, I know that was in there, but it didn't last. It lasted like maybe a season, and they dropped it.
Oh.
But
Was she like a main character on it?
She was, yeah.
Oh, she was.
Yeah,
Okay.
she was. Pat, can you check that? Fact check, Pat. It's
Pat check.
Pat check. Fact. Pat check.
What sitcom was Stacey Keibler
what
on?
show was Stacy Keibler on? She was like a main character on the show. Anyway, those legs.
She knows how to use them.
Oh my god, I was so jealous of Vince McMahon. Remember that?
Oh
Raw?
yeah.
He was sitting on a chair, just wrapped his legs around his head.
That's right. He was doing public job interviews for his new secretary.
That's what it was.
Yep, on SmackDown, and she got the job.
I bet she did. Good pick, Jordan. Man, that's probably like, aside from my Mount Rushmore, that'd be my ideal Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, Charlotte, Medusa, Sunny, and Stacy.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I don't mind Medusa. I thought Medusa was pretty hot.
Yeah.
Did you find it?
Got anything? How I Met Your Mother.
No.
That's alright.
I'm gonna find it. And I'm gonna tell you.
Sarah, who do we have next?
Another first list coming to us from Mike Magnus, Medusa, Trish Stratus, Sonny Kiss, and Mickey James.
Sonny Kiss gets a vote on here, Brian.
Who was that?
Mike Magnus.
Is this his first time?
Yes.
Sonny Kiss.
Sonny Kiss, yeah.
Alright, no. Come on.
Well, Sonny
Come on,
Kiss, I knew would be controversial.
That's a dude.
Well, Sonny Kiss considers. I don't even know whether to say himself, but is gender fluid, meaning they identify with both genders. Trained by Dustin Rhodes,
Don't
wrestled.
even talk about it, man. It's not even like, it shouldn't even be on the list.
Okay, well, Sonny Kiss in AEW.
Why are you gonna run that down?
Well, I'm just saying, somebody voted for Sonny Kiss. So
That's obviously a gaff list.
I,
That's a gaff,
okay.
right? I mean, it's gotta be. Who else is on the list? Who else? Tell me more.
Well, Medusa's on there, Trish Stratus is on there, Sonny Kiss is on there, but also the first mention for Mickey James.
See, it's a good list other than Sonny Kiss, and they can't be serious.
So Mickey James, the former Alexis Lurie, she had another great pedigree. She attended the Dory Funk training camps. She even trained at the ECW dojo. She sat in for some training sessions with Ricky Morton and Bobby Eaton. She went to Ring of Honor and TNA, where she was in Raven's group The Gathering with Julio De Niro and CM Punk. Trained in OVW, and then she had a great debut and had an awesome feud with Trish Stratus on the main roster.
That was a good feud, man.
Yeah.
I watched the thing WWE did on them on the network. Did you watch that yet? It's like the
No, I haven't watched
Chronicle or 24,
Yeah.
whatever. It was really good.
Yeah.
It was really, really good, and it brought back some good memories. Like a lot of stuff I forgot about those two
Yeah.
in that feud.
And I mean,
Like I forgot how much of an intricate part Ashley Mazzaro's was in that feud,
yes.
because she was like Trish's best friend, and what's her face, the crazy one there.
Victoria?
No, Mickey James.
Oh, okay.
The one we're talking about. So
I forgot
she
how
was,
many
like,
crazy
she
women's
was
characters
wicked
they've
jealous.
had.
So many, because you know why? Women are crazy. You know?
But Mickey James, she went to TNA. She made a name for herself there. She also became a country singer.
Not a
now
very good one.
Now she's back in WWE, and she's also married to Nick Aldis.
Right. She
Former
she was
NWA
with
champion.
Nick Doan for a while, Spirit Squad.
Yeah, and I
Not
think
Nick. Kenny Doan. Ken Doan.
And she was also with John Cena too, I believe.
Well, I think that's what messed it up, was John Cena
Okay.
kind of gotten away. And the name of that show that Stacy Keibler was in is called What About Brian? I
Oh,
was
What
right.
About Brian?
What
huh?
about me?
What about you? What about you? All right, Sarah, who do we have next?
About it.
Cashman in Plymouth votes for The Fabulous Moolah, Sensational Sherry, Medusa, and China.
Okay, we've heard all of these names, but that is an awesome list from Cashman. I gotta say that's another one there, Brian, that transcends different decades. I'd say.
A lot of powerhouses on that list, right?
Yeah. But I kind of think that's a good thing because, I mean, if Sasha Banks, I guess, is the exception here. Well, no, I can't even say that because even Megumi Kudo was small. Akira Hokuto was small.
The one that is in AEW right now, their champion's tiny, right?
Hikaru Shida, yeah, and before her Riho.
Right. Who's the one that Kenny Omega wrestled at 14 years old or something?
Rio.
That was Rio.
Yeah.
And who is she? Is she in AEW?
She's in AEW. She was the first champion. You know the small girl? She had the puffy sleeves.
So even smaller than the one now,
even
right?
small. I don't even think she's 100 pounds.
Right. So
It's kind of hard to believe.
Right, but she's the wicked agile. And
she is, yeah. I mean,
Kenny
with
Omega,
the right opponent, she gets tossed around like a rag doll, and it's a great visual.
Kenny Omega jobbed to her. Did he job to her at, like, how old is she, 12 years old?
Younger. Might
Younger
have been like 8.
Like
10.
10, 12. I don't know, man. I'm not a fan of that.
No.
You know?
No, and I know you're not you're not a
realistic.
fan of intergender wrestling.
I am not a fan of intergender wrestling.
So.
At all.
We certainly had that conversation.
I was brought up not to hit women. You know what I mean? And I think it's kind of just sending the wrong message.
But what about when Hulk Hogan punched Sherry?
That's different. That was Hulk Hogan. She deserved it.
Sarah, who do we have next?
The list from TTD Wrestling is The Fabulous Moolah, Medusa, Trish Stratus, and Lita.
All right, another vote there for Lita. So she'll get a final mention at the end of the show.
How many does she have so far? Really?
I think it's only her second vote right there.
Second vote should be in there?
No, I'm saying in order to get a mention at the end of the show, you have to have more than one vote.
Right.
So now she has more than one vote, so we'll say Lita's name at the end of the show.
Oh. But you're not saying that she's going to be, like, in the top 4?
No, I
Okay,
don't think
that's
Lita's
what I
going to be in
thought.
the top 4.
That's where you lost me.
I
You
got you.
lost me. I'm back on track now.
Yeah, you found now, huh?
I was lost, now I'm found.
Yeah, you were gone for a little while,
It's an
huh?
amazing thing. I was gone for a while. It's been a long time.
You don't shine shoes no more. Sarah, who do we have next?
Next is On the Mark shirts with Bo Nakano, Medusa, Akira Hokuto, and Sensational Sherry.
What I like about that list is not only are those, names that really could be there at the end, but all names that wound up in WCW as well. And WCW did not have a vast women's division whatsoever. But the names that they got, pretty good. Oh, what do you got?
Let me tell you about Akira Hokuto.
Oh, you got more about Akira Hokuto.
She was the AJW from 1985 to 1995. She was AJW Rookie of the Year in 1985.
You don't say.
That's all I got, man.
Oh, all
Let
right.
me have this.
Wow.
Let me have it. I mean,
It's all yours. The floor is yours.
did anybody mention?
Let's hear it.
Did anybody mention Jaguar Yokota? Did they? Well, if not,
Jaguar Yokota. She was the inventor of the Tiger Driver.
let me tell you about Jaguar Yokota. AJW from 1977 to 86. She retired in 1986 at age 24. Ian, did you know she came out of retirement in 1994, just 10 years later?
No kidding.
Yeah. Yeah. And then she retired again in 1991.
Was she like the Terry Funk of women's wrestling there?
No, she came out in 1988. I'm sorry. She came out of retirement. No, she came out of retirement in 1994. Then retired again in 1988.
Hey, how many times that girl retire?
Dude, she came out of retirement in 2004, and she's still wrestling today at age 59.
That's nothing. Billy Gunn is still wrestling.
She's a one-time AJW champion, and she's an AJW Hall of Famer.
Hey, Brian.
And you know what?
What?
She came out of retirement so much. She's a typical woman, right? She's very indecisive. She can't decide.
Brian, what does AJW stand for?
All Japan Women's Wrestling.
Good job. I'm impressed. I'm
What?
impressed.
You thought the extra level was going to throw me off, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
No, I did my research, man. I
Good
did my
job.
homework.
You did.
And with
Proud
that,
of
those
you.
are my
Oh,
four.
no. Oh, no.
And the worst part is Jaguar wasn't even on anybody's list. Was she?
Nope. Nope. Sarah, who do we have
I
next?
gotta start getting these lists from you.
JC from EP submits Lita, Trish Stratus, Charlotte Flair, and Natalia.
First mention for Natalia, the only woman to graduate from the dungeon. The daughter of the anvil.
Could you imagine if they, like, declined her?
Yeah, no.
They were like, no, you can't train with us.
Well, she got her start as the host for Eric Bischoff's short-lived Mat Rats. It was like a kids' wrestling promotion.
That's how she got started?
That's how she got started. That was her first time in front of the camera.
That's weird.
Yeah. But,
Any way you can, I guess, right?
Yeah, but, she went on to really be the backbone of the women's division, I'd say.
Yeah.
I mean,
She's
everybody
such a good
has to
worker.
go through Natty to really make it.
What's funny is, like, everyone's got to go through Natty to make it, but Natty never really did anything in the business.
Oh.
Except, like, put those people over, which is
Yeah.
huge, I guess, right?
Well, she had an awesome feud with Charlotte in NXT.
Do you think that they pay her the same? Like, because it's that important to put people over that way, right?
Yeah.
So you think she's getting, like, paid as, like, as if she was a champion? Just because
maybe.
she does such a good
'Cause she's
job
so
at making
important.
champions?
And she's had the tenure. I mean, she's been there for
Right.
a long time now. From the famous Hart family, married to Tyson Kidd. Even on the reality show Total Divas. And was in the tag team The Divas of Doom with Beth Phoenix. And I don't think Beth Phoenix gets a mention on here at all.
That's kind of surprising to me.
Yeah,
too.
I am surprised by that. But,
That just goes to show you that there's so many women you can choose from.
There really
Maybe
are.
we should narrow it down to, like, in-ring performers, and
No.
then, like,
No.
Sapphire on the list?
No, Sapphire's not on the list.
Damn.
Sarah, who do we have next?
The 4 from Package Pile Driver shirts are Bull Nakano, Medusa, Lita, and Megumi Kudo.
Alright, so Package Pile Driver shirts. Okay, Sarah, who do we have next?
Nikki Homicide votes for Medusa, Asuka, Molly Holly, and Awesome Kong.
So one new name on that list is Molly Holly. Starla Saxton, trained by Dean Malenko.
What do you think about Molly Holly?
I like Molly Holly.
She
I
was
thought-
cute.
What are we talking about? Looks, Sarah,
No,
wrestling?
I'm talking about looks. You can talk about whatever you want.
No, she was cute, and she's one of the few people that can wear like a short hairstyle, and it's good on her.
Yeah, she did.
I mean, not the time that she lost the hair versus hair match to Victoria at WrestleMania 20 and got her head shaved.
Yeah,
but
I know, that was rough.
No.
I'm not a fan of, like, short hair, like, Bailey's Karen look. I'm not,
Yeah.
too fond of that.
Well, everybody's got a look, and yeah, Molly Holly. She was even Mighty Molly
Yep. Cousin of Hardcore Holly.
and Crash Holly.
Crash.
Okay, so she was the only new name on there. So Sarah, who do we have next?
The next submission is from Shepland with Medusa, Lita, Trish Stratus, and Chyna.
Yeah, more names there that we've already heard from, but Shep gives us the heavy hitters there.
Medusa might make the list, huh?
I think Medusa's gonna be
Wow.
on the Rushmore.
I'm surprised at that.
Yep, I think she's gonna be there.
Usually you can pick your two. And I thought for sure Sherry was going to be there.
Yeah.
But just like Orange Man, she's like losing ground very, very fast.
You know it. Sarah, who's next?
The first time list from Greg Noyes is Chyna, Medusa, The Fabulous Moolah, and Mae Young.
So let's take some time to talk about Mae Young here. Brian, first tell me your memories of Mae Young.
Just powerbomb through the tables.
Bubba Ray Dudley powerbombing him through the
Yeah,
table.
I mean, that's the most iconic thing I think she's ever done.
Well, we're gonna circle back to that because wait till you hear the history of Mae Young here.
And you know what? Pat's in the background just putting up his hand. And I gotta give him a hand for that because I forgot all about it.
The hand.
Oh,
But we'll get back to
man.
that. We'll get back to that.
Good,
But
good.
Mae Young, she was an amateur wrestler in high school on the boys' team, and even taught her brothers how to wrestle. Back when women's wrestling was kind of like a carnival act, she wanted to fight the then champion Mildred Burke. She was only 16 years old, and the promoter told her she can't fight Burke, but she can prove herself against another woman. And Mae Young won in convincing fashion. So, she was then trained by Ed the Strangler Lewis, alongside the Fabulous Moolah. So her and Moolah trained together. But Ed the Strangler Lewis wasn't fond of women's wrestlers, but had great respect for Mae Young after he saw just how tough she was. I mean, one of the few women with tattoos.
Does she have an anchor on her Her forearm.
I believe that's what it was, the old
It was,
sailor
right?
there. She worked with Mildred Burke and Stu Hart to bring women's wrestling to Canada.
Wonderful.
Yeah. She competed in 7 different decades, just like Lou Thez did.
Would you write like a book report on?
Well, I wanted to make sure that I hit all the key points for Mae Young because this is the only mention she's going to get, and I think she deserves to be mentioned. She was one of the first females to tour Japan after the war, and like we mentioned earlier, she worked for the Fabulous Moolah's promotion, the LIWA, but then, yeah, she was more known for coming back to the WWF. And, yeah, she took a guitar shot from Jeff Jarrett. We talked about Bubba powerbombing her off the stage through a table. The relationship with Mark Henry, where she competed in a bikini contest, and then was impregnated.
What does she have, boy, girl?
She had a hand. Just a hand.
Hand.
That's it, just a hand. Give me a hand.
That was disgusting, wasn't it?
It was very
It came out all
disgusting.
slimy. And
Yeah.
shit, like, what? Ugh. Disgusting.
One thing in particular that I learned about Mae Young today that I never knew before that I
You
found...
love Mae Young. That's what I'm learning today.
You know who she trained?
Who?
The Patriot.
Del Wilkes or Salvatore Sincere?
Del Wilkes.
Oh.
She trained Del Wilkes. I was very surprised to learn that. But yeah, Mae Young, she definitely deserves a mention on here.
You went into more depth with Mae Young than you have with anyone else.
Because she has such a history.
So
7 decades. She was around the wrestling business for 7 decades.
Do you
She
enjoy Mae
accomplished a
Young
lot.
more than you enjoy the Fabulous Moolah?
You know what? I think I do.
I know you do.
Yeah, I think Mae Young was more entertaining than the Fabulous Moolah.
You're right.
She was willing to be more comedic. Think about the things that she did as opposed to the things that the Fabulous Moolah did,
I get it. No.
comedy-wise.
Right.
All right, Sarah, who do we have next?
Adam in Jacksonville adds votes for Trish Stratus, Mae Young, Charlotte Flair, and Chyna.
I stand corrected. Mae Young does get another vote.
See, Adam loves her just as much as you do.
Well, we're going to have to watch Mae Young matches together then.
Oh, you and him, not you and me.
Oh, yeah, of course. Sarah, who's next?
Hunter Ellenar's 4 are Trish Stratus, Medusa, Bull Nakano, and Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks. She's really making a name for herself right now in WWE as one of the premier women's athletes, but not so much on this list.
Oh, Bailey.
Bailey doesn't get a single mention on here.
Not one mention.
Not a single mention for Bailey.
But Sasha Banks
But Sasha Banks
you
does.
said Becky Lynch also doesn't either.
Becky Lynch doesn't either.
I am shocked at that.
I really thought, yeah. Especially because Bailey's current. You know, she's the current women's champion. She's...
Not anymore, Dick Bet.
Oh, she's not. She lost it to Sasha. That's right. Okay. All right, who's next, Sarah?
Phil Squared brings us some new names: Manami Toyota, Wendy Richter, Cheerleader Melissa, and Sara Del Rey.
So a few names to break down here. First, we're going to start with Wendy Richter. And we talked a little bit about Wendy Richter earlier, but she was actually trained by the Fabulous Moolah. And she worked such territories as Stampede, Mid-South, AWA. She feuded with Medusa and Luna and Sherry there. But she went to WWF, Rock and Wrestling Boom Period, the original Screwjob. We heard all about that. So, yeah, that's Wendy Richter in a nutshell there.
No Rockin' Robin either, huh?
No Rockin' Robin. Do you remember whose sister she is?
Jake Roberts.
Yes! Good job.
Oh! Can't stump me. I'm on a roll today, Ian.
You ever know I had a sister that wrestled? What about cheerleader Melissa? Any stories about cheerleader Melissa?
Didn't she become Serena Deeb? No, that's not her.
That's not her.
She was someone...
Raisha Saeed.
Raisha Saeed.
She was the manager of Awesome Kong.
Right, she had like the headdress on
Yes.
and all that. Then she became that champion TNA.
She did Alyssa Flash.
Serena Deeb is that current NWA champion.
Yes,
now.
correct.
She was in the Straight Edge Society with CM
With Punk, shaved her head, yeah.
Shaved her head for him.
Yep.
Showed how loyal she was.
Yes. But cheerleader Melissa, she was also in Lucha Underground as Mariposa.
Mariposa.
Yeah, she wore a mask. And we also get a mention here for Sara Del Rey, the first female trainer at the NXT Performance Center.
She's from around the area, right? She's when is she in Chaotic?
I don't know. I thought for some reason she was like...
California based?
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, I thought she was California based, and she definitely. I mean, she ran all different territories. If there's a women's wrestling promotion, Sara Del Rey wrestled in it. She's wrestled everybody. Now she trains the women's for a specific style. But I mean, she was in Ring of Honor wrestling the men. She was working alongside Chris Hero and Claudio Castagnoli. She was in Claudio's faction in Chikara, the BDK. But yeah, no, she's really, really making a difference and making a name for herself as a trainer now.
That's someone who knows that list came. Is that our first submission from Phil?
No, we hear from Phil Squared just about every week.
Because that's that's a real follower of wrestling's list.
Yes.
If that makes any sense. You know
No,
what
I
mean?
know what you mean.
You know what I mean, but they might not know what I mean.
Okay.
But that's okay.
You're right
as long
about
as,
that.
As long as you know what I mean.
Okay.
I like that list. I don't mind it. I mean,
Yeah, different names.
good
that's
work.
for sure.
Yeah, and they're all like really solid in the ring. So.
Yeah. Okay, Sarah, who do we have next?
The list from Billy the Biker is the Fabulous Moolah, Luna Vachon, Lita, and China.
First mention here for Luna Vachon. We just watched Luna Vachon's debut in Florida Championship Wrestling earlier, where Kevin Sullivan punched her in the face.
Yes.
Traumatized her.
That was weird, and she looked like she was 60 years old right there.
Yeah, she's,
in that video.
you know, she's very soft-spoken and sweet, but the daughter of Butcher Vachon, just wild. Luna Vachon, she went wild after that. She joined Kevin Sullivan and his army of darkness, shaved half of her head, and started painting veins on the side of her head. She had a very distinct voice. I'm losing my voice.
That's Billy's women's Halloween list. Right? It's not a bad list, though.
Not a bad list, no. No, but yeah.
Solid.
Luna Vachon, went back to WWF with the Oddities.
Right.
And then she joined up with Goldust.
Do you know who wouldn't be in that faction of that women's that list right there?
Who?
Like who wouldn't manage that faction of those 4 women?
You're saying that she was the perfect choice to be the manager for that?
No. I'm saying like if those 4 were a stable.
Who?
Someone that wouldn't fit in would be Hugh G. Rection.
Oh, jeez. Well, Luna Vachon, she was married to Gangrel for a little while.
Yes, she was.
And she feuded with somebody who also doesn't get a mention on this list. Sable.
Yeah, Sable's
Sable
on my
doesn't.
list.
She's on your list? Okay,
Yeah, man,
I
she
won't
doesn't
say
make-
anything then.
She doesn't make a list, right? Not one person.
Not one.
That's what I'm saying. Like everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, Brian's list sucks. Brian's list sucks." I think you suck.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay, Sarah, what do we have next?
Another first-time list from Rolled Snake Eyes with the Fabulous Moolah, Lita, Trish Stratus, and Natalia.
All names we've mentioned right there, so I know we have one list remaining. Who's it from, Sarah?
The last submission is from Hunter the River Dweller, Lita, Charlotte Flair, China, and the Fabulous Moolah.
So that rounds out the list right there. Brian, I'm dying to know. Who is on your Mount Rushmore of women's wrestling?
I'm really fascinated with those lists. That was kind of a fun show.
It was.
Right. So my Mount Rushmore is gonna be Sherry.
Yep.
Sherry Martel.
Mm-hmm.
Sable, AJ Lee, and Becky Lynch.
Heck of a list right there.
I think so.
What's your reasoning for putting Sable on your list?
The Playboy. She was the first woman in Playboy. No, but like, I know that's the first thing I said. I don't mean it that way. But she was the first woman in Playboy. She did so much for that company. Made so much money for the company.
Mm-hmm.
And like the way she started was she was the valet for Triple H.
Yes.
And then the storyline was she went with Mark Merrow.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like the storyline with Mark Merrow where he hated her being scantily clad and put the potato sack over her.
Yep.
She took it off.
She stole his spotlight.
And she was hot, man. Like she was the quintessential sex symbol of the WWE, right?
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. All right, so my list.
and the reason I put Becky Lynch.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. We forgot to talk about Becky
Not
Lynch.
to
Go ahead.
interrupt you,
Becky Lynch.
but I think Becky Lynch deserves a vote in there. How long did she hold on to that title?
At least a year.
And she got herself into that storyline, right?
Yes.
With Charlotte and what's her face? No,
And Ronda.
Ronda.
Yeah.
But wasn't Becky Lynch the champion? Who was the champion then?
Well, Ronda had a belt and Charlotte had a belt.
That's right. And Becky didn't.
And Becky walked away with both.
Right. She walked away with both belts. and like I said, she kind of got herself into that storyline.
Yes.
Because it was going to be Ronda and Charlotte.
Right.
So she got herself over, man. I gotta respect that.
And that's.
And when she started doing the man thing, you know what I mean? Like, that was cool.
It was a big deal.
Yeah.
All right. So my list. Well.
Spit it out.
It's a tough one. It really is a toss-up here.
You're not gonna change it now.
I have to. All right. Bull Nakano. I think Bull Nakano's on there. I think she was tough as nails. I think she really set a new precedence for what women's wrestling could be. So I put her on there. I have to put China on there too, for transcending, you know.
Halloween was last week. You don't have to do the Halloween women's list.
So Bull Nakano, I think China belongs on there. I think Medusa belongs on there. And, you know, I'm just going to say it, Charlotte. I'm going to put Charlotte on there.
What a weird list.
It is a weird list. It's a mishmash list. I changed it a million times in the past few seconds, but yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. And I can't even repeat it because I can't remember what it was.
Where's Miss Elizabeth?
Not a single mention for Miss Elizabeth. However, Mikey from the Streets originally had Miss Elizabeth on his list and changed it.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen her made.
Yeah, he switched Elizabeth with Sherry. And geez, even Sherry. I mean, how can I leave Sherry off my list?
Yeah, how can you leave Sherry out?
You
gotta replace what's her face with Sherry.
Bull Nakano?
Either her or Charlotte.
Yeah, you know, if we're talking about pioneers here, yeah, Sherry has to be on there. And Chris Jericho had a great idea for the women's WrestleMania Battle Royal. Mm-hmm. It was originally named after the Fabulous Moolah, but people found that controversial. Chris Jericho suggested renaming it the Sensational Invitational, and it definitely should have been named that.
Well, you know why it's not? It's because it wasn't Vince's idea. Because that's a great name.
You're right. You are right.
Catchy.
Yep.
It would have fit the part.
Yep, you are correct.
It would have paid homage.
Homage.
Homage? Is it?
Homage, yeah.
Homage.
Yeah.
Why do people say homage?
Because they're saying it wrong.
Are you sure about that?
No, I'm not.
Well, whatever, alright.
I've heard it said both ways.
Me too.
Yeah.
Data, data.
Who?
Data. When I say data,
It's
it's
not.
data. It's, you know what I mean?
I hear it.
It would have paid homage to a great women's wrestler.
Sherry, yes, indeed. Well, Sarah, would you please read the stats?
This episode's Mount Rushmore of women's wrestlers is Trish Stratus with 14 votes, Medusa with 13, Charlotte Flair with 11, and Chyna with 9. Following with 8 votes each, Lita and the Fabulous Moolah. Then with 5 votes, Bull Nakano. With 4 votes each, Sensational Sherry and Sasha Banks. And with 3, Megumi Kudo, Asuka, and Manami Toyota. And finally with 2 votes each, Gail Kim, AJ Lee, Akira Hokuto, Awesome Kong, Mae Young, and Natalia.
Heck of a Rushmore there, Brian.
Yeah, man. I like this episode because it was so much to choose from, so many different criteria you could have had. I like my Mount Rushmore. I'm gonna stand by it.
All right.
Stand behind it. And yeah, so no one mentioned AJ Lee in that.
Yeah, AJ Lee got a mention.
She got a mention.
I think she got 2 mentions.
All right, so I wasn't
Yeah.
paying attention. I should
all
pay
right.
more attention. It's my problem.
Not a problem. Maybe you'll pay more attention. Maybe you'll pay more attention next time, because the next time we join you, our list will be the Mount Rushmore of championship belt designs. So, keep your eye on our Facebook page, Pro Wrestling Rushmore. I'll be posting pictures on there. You can reply right to that. Go on to Instagram. We have a lot of people following us on Instagram. That's where the action's at. So you can go on there, square.circle.history, and you can join us on YouTube. I feel like YouTube's kind of our home. Go to YouTube, the Square Circle History page. Like, share, subscribe, and drop an elbow on the notification button.
Spotify, iTunes, all that good
Oh,
stuff.
we're everywhere. We're
All that good
everywhere.
stuff, yeah.
We're taking over. So, for Brian.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Happy to be back. And it was fun. Good episode. I liked it.
And for Sarah.
Till next time.
This is Ian saying good night.